Hello and welcome to The Wrong Podcast, a show where we watch and discuss all the films in Lifetime's The Wrong series. I'm Claudia.
And I'm Jory, the only one.
And today we're talking about The Wrong Roommate, 2016, directed by David DeCoteau and written by Matthew Jason Walsh. Jory, before we get into opinions on the movie, let's talk about what this podcast is, because this is probably among the most niche things on this network now.
That is, yeah. So, yeah, covering the Wrong film franchise, which I should like scroll because we like did like a quick like talking about this in our channel's Letterboxd channel that posts like our reviews and stuff. Where I let me go back and find it. I should be better at this.
Yeah, this was in like October. For listeners, it is currently almost April.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I had watched it back in August. I had logged a short film by a very interesting director I'm fascinated by called The Wrong Parking Lot, and you said that you thought I started watching this franchise and linked it, and when I clicked through, I saw that all of them were directed by David DeCoteau, and you said let's do a Wrong podcast, and I said put a pin in that, these look wild, and then like 8 months later I was like, hey, we should do that now.
Yeah, you actually came back to the pin. I was surprised, but very delighted.
uh my absurd movie watching has kind of slowed down recently, and I've been like alongside some stuff going on. I was like, I want to be working on some stuff more, and this is like the perfect thing for me to jump into.
Yeah, I feel like you have to. Maybe it's because like I'm a film girly or whatever. I feel like you have to have some kind of like absurd movie project that you're doing, or at least I need to.
It's one of those things where, especially after watching this first one, I've worked with people who they're like film students and stuff, and then I show them my letterbox, and they're like, "What the hell are you doing?" And then I have to give them like a very concise like. And I do think even with this first one we watch, it applies where there's a lot you can learn about film and the language of film and stuff by watching a well-made Godfather, Citizen Kane, whatever. But on the opposite end, there is a lot you can learn from low-budget stuff, especially like a TV movie where they have not a lot of time, not a lot of money, and they need to get it out. Like, I've learned so much about like the 3-act structure from these kinds of films than I have from like watching really, really good films.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what bad movies are fantastic for teaching about? Editing. Because editing is invisible when it's good. But when it's
Yeah.
bad, it's the most noticeable thing about the movie.
That goes into something that I was curious about going in for when we get to that.
So, I brought this up, because you watched a movie that started with The Wrong. I first learned about this series through a YouTuber named Jane Mulcahy. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. Who watches a lot of niche bad films, and she's particularly fascinated by Lifetime. And she did a video talking about a bunch of Lifetime cheerleader movies, and there were 2 The Wrong movies on there. And she eventually did a video like talking about all of them. Not in much detail for each one, so I still feel pretty unspoiled on most of these. But yeah, I also find this fucking fascinating. Why did they make 28 of these movies over 9 years?
There is like when we started talking about planning this like a month-ish ago is when I looped back around to it, and in that time they released another one.
No.
I was looking at the page for them last night because I was like, I wanted to make sure I had all of them available, and I was like, the last one came out in 2024. Cool. And I was looking last night. Last one came out February 21st, 2025.
Oh my god, the wrong obsession.
Yeah, I thought they were done by this point, but nope.
Yeah. They've slowed down, but but they're not stopping. Yeah, David DeCoteau does not know how to stop.
No, uh he has like hundreds of film credits at this point. It's impressive.
Jory, tell me about David DeCoteau, because I know him for a couple of things. I know that he's done this franchise.
Mhm.
I know hit film A Talking Cat,
Yes.
and I know that I'm pretty sure he's done like a lot of softcore gay porn.
So so that's he's mostly known for, he got to start with Full Moon Productions, which is a super cheap, like they made all their money off of the video store,
Mhm.
because anything you could, Puppet Master's a big one. He's like a
Oh yeah.
producer on basically every single Puppet Master. He's involved in like the Evil Bong films, Ginger Dead Man, stuff like that. Where it's just like cheap stuff you make as cheap as possible so you can take whatever left over as top profit. Like the guys involved in Full Moon also got their start with like Roger Corman, and
Mhm.
he's just has this impressive amount of movies that he's put out. And there is a clip from Ginger Dead Man 2 that kind of loops into the last thing you mentioned that I just sent you, but he like shows in as himself. And I'll wait for you to watch that.
Let's see.
Wow! That's David DeCoteau! His films are known for their thrills, high-concept gothic horror, and subtle homoeroticism.
Yeah. No, high contra thrills and subtle homoeroticism. Yeah.
And right after, as you, one of the comments says it cuts off at the wrong point. I think it cuts off at the best point, because right after you see a shirtless, jacked dude walk into frame and it ends. Because the full
Yeah.
clip, he sees the buff dude pose, and he does like the stereotypical effeminate, like gay, like love it thing, and which is still funny, but not as good as like cutting off before that. And that's a thing that's in a lot of his movies. And part of what I want to see is like, is he getting this into his network TV movie film, which not as much in this one, but I think it'll come up later. I think some other ones have more potential. And because you mentioned it, A Talking Cat, which is like a famous like kind of like absurd kids movie. The subtle homoeroticism does show up in that movie. I was losing my mind when he was able to sneak it in there.
Yeah. I the thing that I wanted to say before we started recording here about, like, because you asked what do I know about this guy,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to bring it up then. I wanted to bring it up on recording because the like homoerotic stuff, the lead male actor definitely feels like he is like one of maybe Dakota's softcore porn guys. I'm not sure if that's true,
Yeah.
but he has the energy.
He has the like look too,
Yeah,
because
he's
there's one of his movies which I think is like, I haven't watched it. I've seen stuff from it. I've watched a couple of his movies, but it's like Bigfoot versus DB Cooper,
mm.
where it's just like a summer house where it's like eight like 20-year-old chiseled guys who constantly run around in just like tight white underwear. And it's the most and they don't really acknowledge it either, which makes it funnier, because it's just like, oh yeah, just dudes hanging out.
Honestly, it seems like David's living the fucking life.
Do you know about his pseudonyms? He uses a couple.
Ooh, no.
So I'm gonna save the best one for last, but he's done it
Okay.
under a bunch of them, which I think is I think he does it for this for a similar reason of like Starbucks, before they realized people don't care if there's 50 Starbucks in a mile radius, they had
Mhm.
Seattle's Best Coffee, because they thought, oh, people will shop at this one if they don't want to go to Starbucks. But
Mm.
his pseudonyms are Ellen Cabot, Julian Breen, Victoria Sloan, Jack Reed, Martin Tate, Joseph Tennant, and Mary Crawford, and then the last one, Richard Chasen, or Dick Chasen.
Very good. Good good bit. So we watched the first movie,
Yes.
The Wrong Roommate. And before watching it, we each decided to write down our questions and theories that we had about the film before we started. Uh, Jory, would you like to share what your questions and theories were?
Sure. Going into this, because I had no familiarity with like the franchise at all, a lot of mine are about the like franchise as a whole and I'm curious about with it. Um, because just going off of the name, I was like, which they didn't really. The roommate thing is is confusing already with it, but
Yeah.
the things was I first one was like, how much subtle homoeroticism is he able to fit in? I really want to know if Vivica A. Fox plays the same character in each film, or if there's any
Mm.
repeat characters whatsoever. Uh, if they'll utilize commercial breaks well, which I think is a good sign of like a good TV movie, is if the commercial breaks work as like a natural scene ending, and then the where they take place feels like the passage of 3 to 5 minutes follows. I wanted to
Mm.
know. I was thinking like, are these self-aware? I imagine at first they're not. Uh, but and with them being a Lifetime thing, I have watched some Lifetime movies, and none of them are. But I thought maybe with this guy having like a schlock B film history, they might work it in somewhere. Maybe at least like reference a previous film if there's any like continuity between characters or if there's some between the films. Uh, expecting like a hard 3 act structure. Like at minute 30, we'd get like the reveal of who the wrong roommate is, and minute 60 would be the police officer, whoever, being like, we gotta stop the wrong roommate. And related to that, which is, I want to know how many times they'd say the name of the film, which I expect it to be at the end of Act 1 or 2, like a pull in on Vivica A. Fox's face going, you've got the wrong roommate, and then dramatic music is Sting. um the how similar like the script shot sets wardrobes are between them, like especially when they're pumping out like 3 4 of them in a year, are they like shooting all of
Mm.
them at the same time? I know that's a big thing with a lot of the Full Moon and the like Puppet Master movies, is they shoot multiple at a time, and it's like, hey, we have these puppets for this scene, we're just going to use them for every single scene that they need to be for the like productions we're working on right now. And then they have like this interesting like rotating set that they'd use, so they could just like spin it around and
Mm.
like have one person shooting another film in the bedroom set while someone's using the living room set while someone's using the kitchen set.
Damn,
uh
genius production.
yeah, like it's like why I can see why he's picked for doing these, because he knows how to do stuff efficiently and on time. This is another one is Eric Roberts' screen time per movie, because he is in a lot of not only David DeCoteau movies, but just like low budget family films, crime films, thriller, drama, romance, whatever. He is in a lot of them, but you could either tell that like all of his scenes were shot at the same time, or he does a voiceover narration at the beginning and end, and that's about it.
So, can we talk about Eric Roberts for a second? Because
Absolutely.
I've seen this guy's face before, and I was like, oh, was he on like an episode of Community? Did he have like a weird cameo or walk-on role there? And so I go to his IMDb page and I hit see more or like see
Yeah.
all. I'm scrolling for a while, and I'm like, surely it's around here. Like I've probably scrolled past fucking like 50 movies at this point,
Yeah.
and I was only in 2023. I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's that is I think he is in more movies than David DeCoteau directs, possibly.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, because if you go to, I'm gonna confirm this before I say this, because he might have one other credit before that's higher profile. Uh, what? Yeah, because his most like popular credit is The Dark Knight. Uh,
Oh yeah, yeah.
because he's the guy who you see Batman like drop him off the thing, and he like breaks his legs and stuff. So he has like, and been in some like independent, more like artsy stuff like Cecil B. Demented and like weird stuff like Spun. But then he's also just in tons and tons and tons and tons of these low budget, used to be VHS store, used to be direct to Redbox, now straight to Tubi type
Oh God.
movies. And it's he's also, and another credit that's related to these, him and Vivica A. Fox are in Cool Cat Saves the Kids.
Oh really?
Yes, which
Ah.
is a I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. You've probably heard about it at least.
Yes, I have heard about it. I've seen like stills from it, I think.
Yeah, it's just this like, feels like it's stuff that you feel like you'd remember watching as a kid in elementary school, when they're like, "Hey, here's the if you find a gun in at the playground, here's what you do," kind of video.
Yeah.
But it's made by this guy who's like independently produced it, and he's, for a while he was incredibly litigious about people talking about the videos on YouTube, and
Mm.
he was like, and there's just like an absurdity value to it. Eric Estrada shows up in it, and he's very clearly super inebriated. Vivica A. Fox, it just seems like he's definitely collecting a paycheck, but it's got this fascinating like kitschy value to it, and the connecting thread to a lot of things is like Eric Roberts is in so many things, and I think he just like he's found a good niche for himself, which and imagine he pays the bills. It's like
Yeah.
imagine it's pretty similar to like being like a soap opera actor or something. It's like, I remember looking it up once while talking to some friends, and it's like they're not making like millions a year, but they're making like 60, 70,000 a year just being on a soap opera. And it's like, hey, that's
Yeah.
working actor. That's pretty good. You get to act, and like, and it's at a level where it's like you're not getting bothered when you go about your personal life, probably.
Yeah. And you're doing like what, fucking 200 episodes a year?
Yeah. And then my last one I had was, this is going to be for later, into the late 2020 2021 movies. I'm curious about how COVID affected the production of them,
Mm.
because I know like Lifetime and Hallmark, cuz Lifetime is like the evil side of churning out these movies, and Hallmark is the positive side.
Yeah.
And though I don't know how positive I could say, because those movies also get like weird and crazy, but they also are just churning out tons and tons of their Christmas movies, and I need to track it down, cuz I remember reading about one where there was a Hallmark Christmas movie shot in like mid to late 2020, where a lot of it is shot reverse shot, and there's no two people in a scene together because they were social
Oh.
distancing during the entire production, and they didn't want like too much of worrying about anything, but they still wanted to get their movies out. And I want to track that one down because that sounds fascinating. And I want to know if there's similar stuff going on here, which there wasn't a lot of like big audiences or like big extras or crowds or anything. So I'm not
Not
sure
really.
how much it would affect production now, having seen the first one, but it's something that fascinates me, and like, it definitely didn't affect major film productions as to how they look for the most part. Um, but so like people looking back on film might not see it as much in like 20 years. Like, how was pandemic films? But I feel like it might be more noticeable on stuff that's on a budget, where
Yeah.
they can't even like CGI in people in the background or like duplicate crowd members.
That makes a lot of sense. I think that's all some really fucking interesting stuff to consider. Uh
What do you have on your list?
so I was mostly concerned with like this particular movie. And I am coming at it from more of like a literary analysis standpoint, but also just like things I think might happen. So my biggest one was that I wrote single white female plot for sure. Because in my mind, the wrong roommate, it's like it's single white female. Somebody comes in and they've moved in and they become obsessed with the protagonist, you know?
Yeah. Or this is a weird poll. Have you seen American Psycho 2?
I haven't seen it, but I do know it.
Yeah, because Mila Kunis, like, it turns out by the middle of the film that Mila Kunis' character, like, is pretending to be a girl who never showed up, kind of thing.
Yeah. I guess I wasn't wrong exactly with this, but like I wasn't quite right. Uh, I guess that Vivica A. Fox was the main character in this movie. Completely wrung. She doesn't
she's
even
barely
really.
in this, yeah.
Yeah, she shows up at like fucking an hour in. I thought maybe the next movie will be a direct sequel or direct spin-off in some way. Yet to be seen. I theorized there would be multiple kidnappings. There was one. This one I was on the money for. Main bad guy is manipulated by a worse bad guy. And the reason I theorized this was because there were two people with guns on the poster.
That's a really good call.
Thank you. And my final point was that there was going to be some type of fear-mongering. That just feels standard for Lifetime.
Absolutely. I guess also I'm curious, like, what's your experience with Lifetime films?
I haven't seen many. I think I watched oh fuck, there was one about like identity theft that I saw in a class in high school.
Was that in like a personal finance class that was like,
yeah, it
we
was
can
like some
barely
type of
link
home
this
ec.
to the curriculum, so here you go.
Yeah, exactly. It felt tenuous at best. I think that's my only like real direct contact with Lifetime movies. I've always been kind of fascinated with them though, for the reason that you were saying, that they're just like fucking pumping these out all the
Yeah.
time. It's like, what is this channel that seems completely dedicated to making like shitty TV thrillers?
Especially because like they have a very clear audience too, which is like middle-aged moms. In this economy, they're not stay-at-home moms anymore, but like middle-aged, like probably middle-class white
Yeah.
moms. Because like the few that I've watched, I sent you the post for when we were kind of talking about this thing of Cyber Seduction, which is is from like the mid 2000s, so pre-smartphone, of a teen boy who gets addicted to internet porn, but because it's a TV movie, they can't really get across the visual aspect of it, so he just kind of they just kind of randomly flash like very loose BDSM looking gear,
Oh
like
my
leather
god.
gear, and then they're having people at a party go, "Whoa, dude, you're fucked up. How are you looking at this shit?" Uh, or
Yeah.
Pregnancy Pact, a movie about high school
Yep.
girls who form a pregnancy pact. And then one I watched pretty recently is called Deadly Mile High Club, which
What in
was
the
like
world?
it's about a flight instructor who loses her fiance, husband, boyfriend, love in a plane crash, and she has some kind of like PTSD related to it, and she becomes obsessed with the blandest white guy in the world who signs up for her class, but he's married or dating someone, and she sets up the wildest steps to remove the guy's girlfriend from his life and kind of take over it. And there's a scene that had me out of breath, like laughing both out of just like the sheer absurdity and just shock at the things it was willing to pull off for a TV movie, that I
Mhm.
don't want to spoil because the movie is well worth the watch. But
I will have
I've
to
watched
take a look at that.
I've watched a few, and those prime me for being like, I need to see more. And then the first like 20 seconds into this movie is like, I made the right choice, agreed to talk about these movies.
Well, speaking of the first 20 seconds, do you want to get into talking about like a summary of this movie?
Sure.
So, we start out with a scene that takes place in the middle of the film, where Eric Roberts gets hit by a car, and Vivica A. Fox and some other guy, another cop, are watching security footage of it, and our main character, I'm gonna be real with you, I forget her name. Is it
Uh,
Haley?
it's something Valentine. I remember because it's
Yeah,
an
I do remember
absurd
that.
name. Uh, I thought wrote it down. Yeah, Lori Valentine, because I wrote her name and
Lori.
then the wrong roommate's name because they're both absurd.
Yeah. So, then Lori, our main character, comes in and says, that's my ex-fiance's car. And then we just cut back to 4 weeks earlier. So, Lori is a professor at this local college university, and her friend like hooked her up with this job. I'm unclear whether she is like qualified to be teaching. I know this may be like a weird point to get hung up on, but like she says that she dropped out of school at the like wishes of her now ex-fiance. But later she says she went back and got her degree. But it's
Yeah.
like my question is, did you get your degree in teaching?
From what I understand from professors I have had and adjunct professors I have had that I should not have had, depending on how the school is and stuff, for a lot of times for classes, if you have a master's in a related thing, you
Mm,
can have and like a minor in like education. That's usually enough to like at least be considered for a position, and especially if she's teaching a summer class, I would imagine so.
interesting.
Because I
Oh,
had a adjunct professor for a 400 level class, which already like when I got that I was like, I'm sure it's fine, right? And this woman was definitely not qualified for it, and not as a shot to anyone who needs to work multiple jobs. Whatever, the economy is always bad. I ran into her at her day job multiple times, and it felt weird running into that for a college professor.
ugh. I guess
uh,
you had the wrong college professor.
um, the the thing that I got me like locked into the first 20 seconds in, not only because of Eric Roberts getting hit by the car, it was Eric Roberts is it's definitely not him who gets hit by the car, because the only shots that are definitely him are the face head-on shots, and those were done at like 2 p.m. because they just applied a day for night filter.
Yep.
Which is my favorite thing in any movie is day for night shots, and it's really funny to me that it made it to television.
Yeah, it's the day for night is kind of egregious here. There is one scene where they do the day for night filter, but you can clearly see that there is like sunlight on the horizon. It's just blue.
And a weird link with this, and because I did a little bit of looking at it with when I was just looking at the movie, is her friend that got her the job.
Mhm.
She was in the '90s adaptation of Lolita.
Oh,
She played Lolita in the Jeremy Irons Lolita movie, which is
that tracks, I think. Her face looked really familiar.
yeah. And it's I like looked at I was like looking up some stuff about her once I saw that. I was like, that's really interesting. And I guess she just found like similar to Eric Roberts, she just has fun doing these kind of like cheaper productions.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I guess there's a reason why they keep doing it. So, one thing I did notice about the first, like, 15 to 20 minutes of this movie is that, like, everyone's dialogue is just, like, listing exposition.
Yeah, it's the Netflix thing of like you got to say what you're doing so people on their phones know what's happening.
Yeah. Uh, I think my favorite, like, really bad line in this regard is, Laurie is talking to Eric Roberts' character, Floyd, and she's explaining how she recently broke up with her fiance because he was like sleeping with someone else. And he says, wow, fiance, supposed to be married, huh? Like, yes, Floyd, that is what fiance, that's what that means, Floyd.
And a thing that I took in was anytime it then the movie did this throughout the entire time though, a bizarre use of like shot reverse shot where they're framed directly in the middle. And for Eric Roberts, even though he's wearing his like Las Vegas party time sunglasses, he is you can see him staring right into the camera.
I
and
didn't notice that. Oh,
and it
man.
it made me wonder if it was framed like that because this is a wild long shot that I doubt is true, but I think about this sometimes when I watch TV movies and stuff made for TV. Is was it framed like that because someone might who might be watching these has the digital converter box and is still using their old 4x3 tube TV?
Oh,
So that
in
there's no information
2016.
lost. Because I've seen some like direct to VHS movies that have later gotten redone by Vinegar Syndrome or something with the original like film and stuff, and they've gotten gorgeous transfers, but you can tell that they were made for VHS because anything that's outside the like 4:3 ratio on the far edges is usually like blank or nothing. There's no information there that would be necessary to understand what's going on the screen, and people are framed like perfectly center a lot of the time. It makes me wonder if that was intentional here or because of what the director was doing and what his history was, that's just what he does normally.
It might be a mix. That's a really interesting point. So here we meet. Let's talk about the main players here. We have
Yeah.
Lori. She's like staying in her sister's house for the summer, while her sister is out of the country. I
Yeah,
guess.
she's on some kind of like work assignment type thing.
Yeah, that
Because
sounds right.
the daughter, because she says that like her daughter's, her niece is sticking around, and I think that dad's not in the picture.
Yeah. Dad is in the picture, but is clearly estranged because at one point, the daughter, uh, Laurie's ex-husband says to the daughter, the niece, like, "Oh, you must be Frederica," and she
Oh
says,
yeah.
and I quote, "Nobody calls me the F word anymore except for my dad." And her dad is calling her. I'm not sure how comfortable you are with that slur, so I'm gonna drop that.
That's totally fine. I think it's funnier to allude to it.
Just
um,
calling her that left, right, and center doesn't seem appropriate to me,
yeah,
but
yeah, because she's staying there because she needs a place to stay, and while she's doing this job, which with that scene that you're talking about real quick is something that had me wondering this entire movie, where does it take place? Because
yeah,
he can clearly get there easily. It's clearly somewhere like California. It was shot in like LA, from what I could read in like a suburb and stuff. It's clearly somewhere like that in Arizona. But she says Poughkeepsie. That's an East Coast place, right? That's in New York, isn't it?
Poughkeepsie is yeah, that's New York. I'm pretty sure.
I mean,
I guess it would explain why she needs a place to stay.
yeah.
Yeah, Poughkeepsie, New York.
Because I don't know if there's other Poughkeepsies. There's a chance there is. I wouldn't be surprised because I'm a big fan of like Cleveland, Utah, and my home state has a Gettysburg, which was that one works a little bit more because it was founded by like Civil War vets or whatever, but like it still stands. It's not the Gettysburg you're thinking of, or like Hollywood, Florida. Like
I recently learned that there is a Newark, Delaware.
so it's like, is there just like a Poughkeepsie in upstate California too, or just like right outside where they are? Because he's able to just see them very easily.
Yeah, Google doesn't seem to think so. So I don't know. This looks like no place in upstate New York that I have ever seen. But maybe there's a hidden area of the Adirondacks like that.
Yeah, 'cause we have them, and then we're also introduced to in something that I didn't realize at the time was setting the boundaries for the film,
Hmm.
where we're introduced to Alan Cypher, who's an artist that is living in the like connected unit above the place.
Yeah.
He's an artist who's also going through a breakup. As he states multiple times, painting is just a hobby. He mostly works with stone and wood. Uh,
Weird, weird line to constantly drop.
and the movie sets the boundary that at first I was like, okay, yeah, sure. And then repeatedly makes a point of it is he does not creep on the 17-year-old.
Yes.
He's like immediately she's like, what are you, a grown ass man, doing going for a run with this teenage girl? And they're both very right, like, yeah, I know this looks weird, but here's what's going on. Um and throughout
Yeah.
the movie there's like stuff of like when the wrong roommate is doing his creeping, it's never with the teenage girl. It's and they even like make some jokes about it where she's like, "Oh, I think she has a crush on you," and stuff. And he's like, "Oh, what? Really? Yeah, I guess that adds up." Like they make a point to not do that, which is incredible restraint by them.
Yeah, that is a really great point. I hadn't considered that, especially because Lifetime is definitely like the well, first of all, like the 17 they have a whole like line of like 17 and like 17 and pregnant. Uh
Oh,
but like they are definitely the type of network that would go there.
yeah,
Um
absolutely.
but yeah, that I hadn't really thought of that. He is pretty fucking normal to her overall.
It does make more sense when they reveal more of what's going on as well, but I do think that the fact that he's not even like he's not doing a side mission that wasn't assigned to him by the guy by perving on the teenager, it's pretty impressive that they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Have it up. After because after we like get the introduction to like characters and we know everything that's going on, we just kind of see how the roommate is working his way into like everyone else's lives. Like he's the niece is she wants to try out for track, I think. I didn't fully get if it was
She's
her being
yeah,
serious or not when she said that, but they
track or
continued
tennis
or
or
tennis,
something.
or at one point she said one thing and then the subtitle said another.
Oh no.
Later when she was randomly hitting tennis balls into nothing and then she goes upstairs, she says, "Hey, want to play tennis?" and the subtitle said 5 mile run.
Oh.
But he's like being friendly with her, helping her out with like being athletic. He's just chatting up with Lori, um and like going for a swim in their pool, and she's like, "Yeah, because I know who you are. It's cool that you're swimming in the pool. Gonna be friendly." And while like some of the seeds are being planted, where with like her friend is over for like wine that they're having at like 1 p.m.
Yeah, of
Um,
course.
that
Lifetime
she
mom.
they're talking about like how hot he is and like, ooh, there's an impressive like hot guy, what's going on, you might need that to like get over your marriage. um and I the other thing that like stood out to me was when she runs into him again and then they like to start like chatting, and she's like going on about like her life and like some of the issues that are going on with her marriage. He just basically goes, "All right, that's enough of the exposition. Let's go look at my art in my room."
Yep.
Oh, and I guess I also left out like mentioned earlier, her ex-husband comes by. He just walks in the house, and he says because the
Yeah.
door's open, he just walks in, and I wrote it down every single time. He is in a different movie. This man is in a vampire or werewolf movie. He looks haggard. He walks and is posed in weird ways. He looks like restless. He delivers his lines really aggressively, even when they're not aggressive. And I just feel like when he's off screen, he is turning into like a beast because of the full moon or something.
That would explain a lot of things. Yeah, her ex was he was fucking a lot.
Yeah.
I honestly like the idea of like my ex just walking into not even my home, but a place that I am temporarily staying
Yeah.
is horrifying. Like that that is just forget the wrong roommate.
Yeah.
Get that guy out of your
Yeah.
life.
And it's clearly like a character trait he has, because he also does it to Alan Cypher later in the
He
movie.
does.
He just kind of shows up. He just loves just popping up. We do get some like Evil Dead POV shots from, at first it's his point of view until we find out about Alan Cypher being the wrong roommate, because there's only so many characters, so it's similar to like if you're watching an anime or playing a video game, the character that has a little bit more design to them, they're a little bit more important than everyone else.
Yeah.
Um,
Or like a murder mystery show where there's a guest star.
yeah.
Well, it's
Where-
probably Leonard Nimoy.
yeah. So where breaking social boundaries outside of like even a jilted ex like fiance who they're split because she caught them with another woman.
Yeah. Yeah, she caught him with another woman, and I don't know why I'm saying and. That's it. She caught him
Yeah.
with another woman.
The way it sounded like was that she found him with another woman and then took all her essentials and left, because he also said like, I haven't heard anything from you, and she's like, I think if I would get the picture of if someone found me cheating on them and ran off with everything, most people would know that they don't
Yeah.
want to be talked to or seen anymore. And he's insisting on keeping up the contact because of things like bills and just other stuff, and also like, we got to make it work out, which his
Yeah.
insistence, I don't know if makes more sense once more is revealed, but
Yeah. The
it lines up a little bit more.
Yeah, the Bills excuse is just like so weak and strange to me. We're
Yeah.
like, oh, we have to both go down to like the water company and transfer it to my name at the address because
Yeah.
they're going to shut off the water if we don't pay, but it's under your name. It's like, what the fuck
Yeah.
what the fuck sense does that make? Like, what if she died? Like, what water company would ever do this? But it does make more sense later.
But after like she goes to look at his art after, he's like, enough telling me about the backstory again. We need to I want to show you my art. To which we go into his place, which they comment on the gaudy furniture and how her sister has bad taste. And he just has a giant painting of a scorpion that,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, as the top revealed letterbox, which I found really funny, is just like, the least believable part is that anyone found that giant scorpion impressive.
Yeah, it really looks so fucking like basic. I hate when people say I could paint that, but I
Yeah.
feel like I could paint that.
In a non-derogatory way, it looks like, especially with like the painting techniques, it looks like something you'd see a like high school, junior, senior, when I don't know if your high school did this, towards the end of like semester, hey, everyone's like projects to go in the hallway.
Yeah.
And for a like high schooler, that's really good. For this like 35, I guess he does say he only does it as a hobby. He more
Yeah.
works with physical materials. But just the like him going, yeah, I kind of sell it to like some banks and stuff in the area. That should have been the first red flag.
Me working at a bank. Yeah, I'll take the kind of like mediocre scorpion painting, please. It's like what, fucking 30 by 40. Yeah, I think they'll hang great in the bank.
To which I wrote down in this Arizona with a bunch of question marks because I was thinking the only place that would want this up in their banks would be like in Tombstone, Arizona, where they shot the movie Tombstone, like
Yeah.
where they just have a giant scorpion on the wall of the coffee shop. But following the like art, we get two like key I don't know, exposition-y scenes where one we see him being weird and brooding in his room, which is after one night we see some POV shots like spying on Lori while she's just kind of standing around in a room. But we
Mhm.
see him like standing in his room being weird, and then he leaves. Oh no, wait, no, I got this mixed up. After we see her like standing around a couple times, like looking out the window, some like someone spying on her shots, we get a confrontation between Alan Cypher and the ex-husband, which again, Alan Cypher should have been the first key that something was up with this guy. He does not come across like an Alan Cypher as an artist.
No.
He comes across as like Dan Jones. Um, but we get a key scene where like the ex-husband is coming out, comes over as she's like talking to him, and he's like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And Alan's like, "I think you need to back off, buddy." And it's like, "Oh, he's trying to impress her." And then cuts to him in the bedroom, in his bedroom, shirtless, doing push-ups.
Yep.
Then he gets a phone call and it's like, no, I know what I'm doing. I got what's going on. And then he sneaks into the main house and has a book with a massive 3.5 inch hard drive in it. Shuts it. It's got a giant camera lens in the spine.
Just like ridiculously large. I know that it's
Yeah.
because we as the audience need to see it,
Yeah.
but like, man.
Someone's gonna notice that. And he puts it in there, and then he seemingly goes to her top drawer of her dresser, and then she's like pulling up, and he manages to like sneak past to where and get out there and go back to his place. And she comes in and goes into her bedroom. It's implied that it's super late because she has to go and wake up her niece, and all of her like bunch of her underwear is sticking out of the dresser. Someone someone broke in and went through her underwear.
Yeah, was he being a perv? Was he actually stealing her underwear? I was a little unclear because it looked like he picked up like a nightie.
Yeah, because then like as when they come back, when he's just pulling up what seems to be like, yeah, it's like a nightie, and then when she goes to it, there's like a bra hanging out and stuff.
Yeah.
And especially with that question you put there, is he being a perv? Because I don't know, is this part of the plan? I think I'm just gonna get to it now instead of like waiting for him to get there, because so
Yeah.
much of the actions make a little bit more sense when you find out that he was hired by the ex-husband, who was a defense attorney who got him off from a domestic violence charge on a technicality, and the ex-husband apparently has the strings to be able to be like, make the technicality go away and make him get arrested. So he's listened to what he does. So he's trying to be like, hey, you need to break her heart so she comes running back to me. And I don't know if this part of it, I think part of it is not because he's just watches her in her underwear later, but also was like digging through her underwear to like scare her so she feels more comfortable with him, so it's safe that there's a man there? Or was he like, oh, hell yeah, a nightie?
Maybe it's all three. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
think it might be a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's so the like defense lawyer technicality thing, right? Um that was it wasn't exactly fear mongering, but it's in that same like conservative law and order type of like mindset of like defense attorneys are bad people because
Yeah,
they're representing bad guys.
yeah.
And it's I hate that shit so much. It drives me fucking crazy. And it's like
It yeah,
just because
it's
Dick Wolf hated Perry Mason, this is what we have
yeah.
in society now.
It's something that always like it's I see it come up with like in politics, and I'm not gonna bring stuff down too much, but I'll occasionally see like this person defended this person for a horrible crime, and they were like smiling during the case, and it's like that's their job, and they're like not gonna
Yeah.
be in a bad mood during their job. Like I don't know, that's without getting into like the things that suck about the country. I don't know. I think that's something that I can appreciate is that even if it's a sham, I don't know. It's good that we have someone there. Uh,
Yeah.
but
It's
yeah, because
their
Dick
job
Wolf.
and your constitutional right as somebody on trial anyway.
Yeah, it's not every lawyer is Ray Wise in God's Not Dead 2 who wants to prove God is fake in a court of law.
Yeah. That guy's kind of based. I don't know.
Yeah. um, but after the like the thing, he like goes and investigates, and they just like comes back later. He's like, "Yeah, there's someone in the house. Don't worry, though. I'll make it safe." And then they get a guy to install a security keypad.
In a really like long scene that I was like, so he's like, okay, here's your code. It's like 2352. And if you need, just hit 3 and 1 at the same time. That's the panic button. I'm like, okay, that's surely going to come back. Never does. It
And
is. I watched it. I was like, am I watching an ad?
the and something that I love looking at, partially because you never know how much of it is legitimate, but I love looking at the IMDb trivia and the goof section.
Mm.
Sometimes it's just people being pedantic. Sometimes it's just people being like finding the loosest things. Like, did you know Vivica A. Fox in this movie did this? Just like someone said about her character in Kill Bill. It's like, that's not. So something tells me that's coincidence. But one of the goofs is that when Lori uses the keypad later, she punches in the wrong number.
Oh my god.
Which is like, I don't expect them to keep up with that, but it's very funny.
That is very funny. There is a scene later on in the like Alan is getting weirder type thing before he has like his bigger break, where she's like reading out by the pool and he gets like very pushy about about sunscreen and
Yeah.
because he wants to like rub it on her, but like it Alan, you're making me root against sunscreen. Come on, man. Killing me. Fucking weirdo. And the other like weird small scene that like I don't know isn't relevant to plot but kind of feels relevant is where Lori teaches a class about metamorphosis for a while,
Yeah.
and
I was wondering because I'm making the assumption I'm gonna be right whether or not on the scale, however, is you're probably a more well-read person than am. Did any of the stuff she was talking about in this literature class, do you think it related to anything in the movie? I don't know if it did. It did not seem like it
yeah.
did.
So like she was saying, she gave a I don't know, a kind of weird read of metamorphosis where it's like the outward face that we give to society is all that we have, and if you strip that away we become like a burden. And it's like that's I don't know, that's kind of not exactly what what metamorphosis is about. It's about like how it is about how society can very easily turn on you and view you as a burden, I guess. But like the outward face kind of thing doesn't really fit. But like I was like listening to this and I'm like, are they just telling me the thesis of the movie? Like the or are they trying to like abstractly hint that because I think it's revealed that Alan's a creep at this point, but
Yeah,
um
because it's after he uses his camera to spy on her
yeah.
sexily standing by the window and staring at his door. Which, ladies, you ever just do that? You ever just stand sexily next to the window and stare longingly at a door?
Listen, after bottom surgery, I don't know, I might. But you know it's a movie because her bra and panties matched when there was nobody around in fucking the middle of the night.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I guess they're saying like Alan has this like false outward persona, and if you strip that away, like he is a bad person. He's a leech on society or something. I don't know. It seemed kind of weird. Seemed like we need to fill 5 minutes of this movie.
Yeah, my thing I loved about the two times we saw her teaching the class is they're outside, and while
Yeah.
I have had like classes where it's like, let's go outside, they just couldn't get permission to use the building, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right. Actually, that makes a lot of sense. It's a good characterization of her though. It feels like, oh, she's kind of the fun teacher.
Yeah. With what was this? Okay, yeah, I wrote down, and I was trying to remember what it was. I wrote down pork chops. Because,
Yeah.
but he's like bringing down his Rothko-esque red painting with like black,
Oh yeah.
and it's like fading into black. And she's like, "Hey, come have dinner, pork chops." I just thought her line delivery there was really funny.
Yeah, she insists that or he insists that the food is payment enough for this I don't know,
Yeah.
gradient that he's painted.
And we get the first like sense that besides the fact that he's watching her while she's naked, while she's almost naked, that something's up. Maybe there's a little more to it where she's just looking at his website and it just has the scorpion painting on it. And Eric Roberts comes up, and this did not go the direction I thought it was going to go, because
Yeah.
Eric Roberts was just like, "Hey, you want to go to this teaching convention in Chicago with me?" And they make a point if he notices the laptop, and she's like, "Sure." And then it just kind of ends. And what I thought was happening was, oh, Eric Roberts is perving on her, and then we see him get hit by the car because, at least for something, the wrong roommate wanted to take out the creeps and be like, and that'll be the turning point of when she realizes something is up, is that this guy injured someone who was near her, even if he was being a bad guy.
Yeah.
He didn't need to take it that far, and then instead it went in. Eric Roberts saves the day. Basically, he's the one who goes, "Oh, there's something weird about this guy, and I know why."
Yeah. Before we get to that, because this takes place around this moment, there's a scene where Ricky, the niece, she's as we mentioned before, just hitting tennis balls at nothing.
Yeah,
Which like I was confused for a moment as where she was getting each of those tennis balls because it really looked like she was just pulling them out of thin air. But
yeah.
anyway,
And alongside that's when the movie got its most creative. They're using like strange Dutch angles on her approach
Yeah.
to it, and like weird like tilting shots of the door. Like, I don't know why this is the one where they decided to be like, all right, we're gonna have some fun with it, but
yeah, so she drops her tennis racket and just starts like moving towards the upstairs apartment. And like it feels so fucking menacing. It feels like she is like a werewolf at this moment.
yeah, she feels like she is like, yeah, vampire mesmerism just compelled to go up, and because she just wants to go up and ask him like, hey, you want to go play tennis? But
Yeah, or
it's
go for a 5-mile run.
yeah. But it's also just the mood of it is so off because
Yeah.
he's being a weirdo looking at the recordings on his computer.
Yeah. I guess he was. Yeah, I don't know. And she like starts to look at the laptop, and he like comes out of the bathroom and like slams it shut on her, basically. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, sorry. Tennis sounds great." But yeah, those shots were so off. Like, looking back, it is the most interesting bit of like filmmaking in the movie.
It's when they got just like they were like, let's be creative for this little segment.
I'm kind of bored today. Let's do something weird with this scene.
Yeah, we'll throw it to the dailies and see if Lifetime notices.
So yeah, we get the reveal about Alan here, that he's working for the ex-husband or ex-fiance. And then Alan kills him because the ex-fiance Mark, I don't know if we even said his name,
Oh
but
yeah,
but he feels that Alan is like getting too close and he's like too attached to Lori. And Alan's like,
Yeah.
"I'll show you who's too attached."
because right before he shows up, they have like a romantic dinner night where he's spying on them, and they like are dancing and then they kiss. And this is after she says something about Chinese takeout to them. So they're having
Mm.
romantic dinner of wine and Chinese takeout, which
Weird
I'm
combo.
not saying that's a bad night, but it does feel kind of funny for this movie to do.
Yeah, romantic Chinese takeout.
And he's just like, yeah, then he just beats him with a baseball bat, but it's like bloodless because this is television.
Yeah.
It feels like a very TV beatdown. We don't see like any contact. We just see like the implied like hitting.
Yeah, he swings the bat a lot.
Yeah.
Or like 3 times, which is a lot for this.
And around here is what I like kind of gave up on the hoping that they'd use the commercial breaks well, because every time they don't give the scene any time to breathe before it cuts to commercial, which they also did for the credits, is they just kind of like finish up what was going on and then fade to black.
Yeah.
Like you
The
don't get
movie
you don't,
really just ends.
yeah, like you don't get a like, oh, they just we just saw him basically kill him. Let's have him like stare menacingly and then just like hitting him and then whoo.
Yeah. I have to assume it's because DeCoteau is like an actual film guy more than a TV film guy.
That makes sense.
So yeah, so like you don't have the same, I guess, experience of playing to a commercial.
I think that would line up. That's a good point.
Yeah, so then we get Floyd's like big reveal, I guess, to Alan, where he goes to this address that was listed on Alan's website for his art. And there's just this this bald dude with sunglasses there. He kind of looks like if you got John Malkovich at like on Wish.
Yeah. He looks like he has a lot of credits as like prisoner number 2.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he of the duo, like their association seems to be like, especially with his appearance, so the audience goes, oh, maybe the nice looking man is a former prisoner if they aren't convinced by now.
That does make sense, damn. So he's like, Floyd is like, I want to talk to Alan, and so this guy's like, hang on, let me go get him for you, and goes off and he's like, Alan, this guy's here, and like calls him on the phone and says that.
Yeah.
So Alan drives over. I guess Floyd's real patient about this.
Yeah.
And Floyd is like, this art, I thought this art looked familiar. It looks just like this art that one of my former students did, but he died 20 years ago.
Yeah. From just like we got just a super quick scene of him being handed the papers by a lady we always see for that scene too.
Yeah.
Like, I got the stuff for you. And
Here's a photocopy of 2 scorpion paintings.
Yeah. And with this scene, I loved Eric Roberts was not on the other end of this scene. They're definitely 2 very different locations, and Eric Roberts did not talk to either of these 2 men, probably during the entire production, would be my guess.
That makes sense.
And Alan Cypher has the laziest excuse of like, yeah, you know those website guys, they're scam artists. He probably just pulled whatever. I'll have to let him know and like fire him and get someone else. And
Yeah, I found his excuse especially funny where he's like, I guess my website guy pulled that from somebody else's portfolio while he's standing in front of the same scorpion painting.
Yeah.
Like, it's just clearly visible in the background. And he's like, no, that's not mine. I never claimed that's mine. I don't know about that. Wild stuff.
And they kind of have a conversation that's basically like, oh, we got to kill this guy, Steven.
Yeah. Damn.
The 2 women start to realize something strange is going on, because like he was supposed to meet me for the water bill, and he was so adamant on the water bill.
Oh yeah, the ex-husband doesn't show up, and Lori starts to worry, which I don't know, I guess makes sense, but
it's like, I don't know, you could probably do it without her, realistically, just like, hey, I've changed water to be in my name and to someone else's name, just over the phone, or both over the phone and in person, just by going, hey, can you switch it to this? I'm moving. And they're like, yep.
Yeah. So then Alan hits Floyd with his car, as we saw at the beginning of the movie. And Lori finds the camera in the apartment. I don't know what really comes of that. I guess she suspects that her ex-husband did it.
That's what I'm thinking, because while she's also like, he's like, oh, no, maybe he's being even more weird. He hits with the because I get it probably convinces it is a like add on to convince her once Alan comes back with fake injuries. I don't know what he did to rough himself up, but he has like blood on his forehead, like on his arm, and he's like, some crazy guy. He's like driving drunk, and he hit me with the car, and I know it was your ex-husband, your ex-fiance.
Yeah. And so Alan has gone and like orchestrated this whole thing where he's gotten Mark's phone or his email or something and has sent a suicide note to Lori. And his plan is to make Mark's death and Floyd's presumed death look like an accidental murder-suicide. And so I'm looking at it like, I have no idea how he's gonna like pose that this guy killed himself. I just kind of assumed at this point that he was just gonna shoot him in the head and hope that the cops didn't question why his skull was beaten into. But even funnier is he like pushes the car down a hill and it fucking explodes at the bottom.
Like action movie explodes.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Oh man. Yeah, they're probably not gonna care about the broken skull then.
Yeah. We get the first sliver of hope, and that the guy's plan is falling apart immediately when it's like, yeah, he's in the hospital, he's not dead, but he's pretty roughed up. And yeah, they go they like talk to them in the Vivica Fox and her partner in the strangest, I don't know where they are. There's a big chessboard. There's like a weird octagonal place about what's going on. And she's like, Vivica Fox is like, I need a warrant. I'm doing the bare minimum of being a good cop here and not breaking the law. And the middle-aged white lady's going, no, please, I love it when you guys disregard your restrictions. Please come into the house. I can get in. I can let you in.
Begging for it. Yeah, so we find out here that Alan is actually Kurt Kruger, Do you think that it's supposed to invoke Freddy Krueger?
I think I think it does enough of like someone watching. They might not know. They might not immediately think of Nightmare on Elm Street, but they know the name is associated with a bad guy.
Yeah, that makes sense. I forgot all of the crimes that Kurt Krueger is wanted for, but one of them was mail fraud, and it's like, God, we gotta get that guy off the street.
Mail fraud is like there's like a larceny charge and like
Yeah.
just something that the few charges that they list off at first are basically like I don't know, kind of petty crimes, or one of them might be a felony on the basis of it being like across state lines. They sounded like pretty low level non-violent crimes, and and to me that's like yeah, that kind of adds up with him being a creep.
Yeah.
Then when they bring up the domestic violence one, it's like, oh, I guess that explains his like temper and stuff. And then they reveal that the person he mentioned, who's his he mentioned as his ex-girlfriend, has been missing for a few weeks now.
Yeah, and they said that she was partially buried in a state park, which the term partially buried is kind of fucking horrifying on its own. Though them saying specifically that it was in a state park, I was watching this with my wife and I was like, dude, that's a federal crime.
Yeah.
You can't bury her in a state park.
It's this guy, he had everything planned out except for that one, which that one seems like a, easy one to avoid.
Yeah, like oh god. Unless partially buried in a state park means that he got her like right on the edge of the technical border of it or something.
Yeah. I like her question, like, do we need witness protection? It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you know how witness protection works, lady.
Then we visit Floyd in the hospital, and my god, his fucking eye patch, like only half over his eye, and then under his sunglasses, is such a great visual.
I want to know if this is like an Eric Roberts thing of like he has to have sunglasses.
I have to assume, like, that's his thing.
I'm pretty sure it was on the set of The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke. Darren Aronofsky, there's made one of the PAs basically be on glasses duty, where even if it didn't relate to the scene, Mickey Rourke would have strategically placed pairs of glasses on him, and multiple pairs, so just in the middle of a scene, he would take them out and put them on. It's not sure if wasn't sure if that's how he practiced the lines and he was just doing it by muscle memory, or if he just thought and did not, and even with the pushback of the director, my character needs to put on glasses in these scenes, so they would have to like frisk him for glasses, and then even then they wouldn't find them all.
That's so funny.
This is also what the movie starts to be like. It's like roller coastering.
Yeah, it goes nuts right at the end.
I didn't check the time much during this. I think I did after the first couple of commercial breaks. It's like, maybe I'll maybe I'll see how it's going and see how it's lining up. But at this is like, there's like 30 minutes left, right? No, there's 10 minutes left. Once they're like, yeah, there's he's this bad guy. He with Floyd going, yeah, he hit me with the car. It's that guy Alan. He's the criminal. They see Alan. I think she notices Alan like spying on them.
Yeah.
Then they just like go, okay, we got to get everything into motion. The niece seemingly doesn't believe that he could be a bad guy. The naivete of youth.
Yes.
And he chloroforms her and kidnaps her and calls Lori and is like, okay, you need to do everything I say, and if you go to Vivica Fox, I'll make sure your niece is dead. And she's like, all right, I'll go grab the bag you have of your fake identity in there and be weird around Vivica Fox. She just happens to show up at the same time. And he's like, okay, drain your bank account, then drain your ex-fiance's bank account. Then you'll ask, say you're swapping banks. And again, if you do anything weird, it's going to be over for all you guys. To which they do a quick serve, which is like, oh, hell yeah, girl power. Walk up on him, and then they take him out with a fucking pipe and take his gun.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
How do they do this fucking switcheroo where, like, her friend pulls up in her car, and Alan, like, tells her to get the money out of the car, and then he sees that it's not her as she comes around, and then Laurie comes up behind him with a fucking tire iron and beats him over the back with it. Not the head, the back.
Yeah. They're just like, it's like, oh yes, the blonde lady's coming up. All right, I know. I was talking to a blonde lady.
So and then they fucking shoot him. Like, they shoot him in the shoulder just to, like, prove that they're serious.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm not telling you. And he shoots. He's like, ah, fuck. Okay, she's up the hill. I didn't hurt her. It's like, oh, it's done. They've got him at gunpoint. There's like 3 minutes left of this movie. Nothing else is gonna happen. And he pretends to bleed out, and friend gets cold feet. He's like, oh fuck, oh no, he's dying. We're really doing this. And where he's able to get the gun. And they just kind of repeat the scene again.
Yeah. Just up where Ricky is, though.
Yeah. Because she's
and
like, up the hill, they like are consoling each other, like, yes, it's good, but he's like, haha, just kidding.
Yeah, and then he and Laurie like wrestle for the gun, and in the wrestling he gets shot in the stomach, like just like Rick from Degrassi, R.I.P. King. And that's the fucking movie. Like, there's like one more scene where she and her niece come back from a, I don't know, probably 5-mile jog, and they get some lemonade from the friend, and they're just like, well, Laurie's like, well, I'll need to find a place to stay once my sister kicks me out when she gets back. And was that it? Was there no resolution besides that?
Basically, it's just like, yeah, that guy was too good to be true. It's like, all right, I guess we're getting better. And then it just fades to black, and a low resolution credits roll that are stock credits on Premiere.
Yeah. I was disappointed that Vivica A. Fox didn't say the title of the movie in this one. Spoilers for future movies, in most of these she will, like, at the end of the movie, towards the end of the movie, say like, well, I guess you found the wrong roommate.
I do think it is technically a roommate, I suppose, but with it being like a connected unit, it's like, I don't know if that counts.
Yeah.
I would say neighbor, but let me see, do a quick scroll. I don't have the names memorized. There isn't the wrong neighbor, so.
Hey, that one's open. Maybe later 2025?
Probably.
Yeah, so, Jory, what do you think of this movie? How many wrong roommates would you give this out of 5?
On my One Piece podcast, since the anime's been on break, we've been watching the films of Ernest P. Worrell. So I've been in kind of the space of like continuing characters and like low budget filmmaking. And
is that why you've been watching all the Ernest movies?
Yep. We've been joking.
Okay.
We've been joking about it since like Alyssa whipped back to find the first time we mentioned it. It was like 2019, and we've joked about it forever. And this like the anime is on break for 6 months. There's enough stuff related to this that we can stretch it out for the entire hiatus, and we did. We did end one leftist art film made by one of the producers after the movies were all done. It's fascinating. But I've been in this phase, and this was an easier watch and a better watch than most of those. I would give it like a 2.5 to 3. It doesn't really drag that much. I think it's shorter runtime works. It didn't hit the exact 30-minute and 60-minute for like reveals, but it's pretty close. Like him first being a creep was at 25, and then the reveal of the ex-husband hiring her was at like minute 55. which I think like works for the pacing really well. They and the thing that I also really like about just like cheaper movies is that they don't have the time to fuck around. So they
Mm.
make sure everything you need to know is stated, and they establish like you get the expeditious isn't the right word. You get like character motivations, and you understand why characters do certain things and why they'd act the way. We can understand why she would feel comfortable with him because he was there for her when like the scary things happen. He's friendly. He's not pushing boundaries. He's not being weird towards the niece. He's being and like I don't think we mentioned it, but like a scene after the kiss, she's like, I need to slow down a little bit. That was weird. And he's like, yeah, totally. I understand. I do
Yeah.
think we were moving a little bit fast. And it's like, yeah, she has enough reason to think to like trust him and not think that he was hired by her ex-husband to impress her and then break up with her. It's a very very competent movie, and it's something that if you wanted to watch it, it's worth a watch. And it's worth throwing on if you like these kinds of things. If you're not into it, I don't know how much you'll get out of it. If you're not into like Lifetime or like more B movies, but I don't know, I liked it. What about you?
Yeah, competent was the word that I was going to use too. I would agree with like a 2.5 to a 3. Um, it's yeah, you raised a lot of good points. Like people who are making this movie, they know that they're not making like high art,
Yeah.
and they're very focused on like keeping a story going for precisely the length of time that they need. There weren't that many superfluous characters. I like Ricky a lot. I think the niece
Yeah.
was very fun. Um, she was a standout character for me. I like how Lori, in the scene that introduces Ricky, she asks her if she's smoking out in the backyard, and she says, first of all, smoking's not a thing anymore. It's vaping now.
She's right.
She, yeah, she's
It-
just, she's fun.
and
Uh,
I did look at her credits because I was like, I wonder if she's in this sphere or if this is like a one off. And she is the teenager being stalked by her doctor, Eric Robertson, stalked by my
oh,
doctor.
oh, I see.
Another Lifetime franchise, which looking at him, I'm assuming by the name is probably the more exploitation based one than this one is, but we'll
Yeah,
see how these ones go along too. Some of these sound wild.
yeah. So it is very it's certainly a fucking movie. Like it held my attention for 1 hour and 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And my headmate Oak and his girlfriend are doing a stream podcast where they talk about all of the Adam Sandler movies. And
Ooh.
let me tell you, after seeing Adam Sandler's first film, Going Overboard,
I was curious why
I
you watched that.
it was fucking awful. Like I think it was so awful that it lowered my standards for every movie I've seen since, where I'm like, wow, that movie had a script and a 3-act structure and people weren't fucking phoning it in. God damn, 5 stars.
I've heard from that movie, like from some people who watched it, like it's impressive that Adam Sandler had the career he did after the way that movie is. But I also think that movie
Yeah.
like is in obscurity for except for weirdos like us.
Yeah. It definitely is like obscure for a fucking reason. Anyway, go check out Into the Sandlerverse, Sand and Unlovable Sandler with Oak and V on Twitch. Anyway, yeah, I thought the acting wasn't bad. I mean, most of it was TV movie acting, but like it wasn't abysmal.
Yeah,
This isn't a movie that's like so bad it's good. This is a movie that's like it's okay. Like it's definitely something that you can. This movie is incredibly second screenable.
absolutely. It way before I think that was like a media term because I think
Yeah,
I think second screen I think came up like a little bit before the pandemic. I feel like that's when I started to hear about it as like a term.
yeah,
'Cause I guess this would have been like 2016. This probably would have been in production. Let's see, it came out right away in 2016, so it would have been in production probably earlier 2015. That's only a couple. I don't feel like my age in like a weird way. Like I know some people do, like, oh man, I feel old. But the couple things that do is when I think about, oh yeah, streaming and like smartphones were starting to be a thing like right when I was out of high school. Like
Yeah.
it's still that recent, even
Yeah.
is how I look at it, which is like, yeah, this is just a couple years into like streaming. So like people are probably watching these more on TV than they are the wrong obsession in
Yeah.
2025.
You're
And
like
they
30,
had their
right?
finger on the pulse in a way of like knowing how people will be consuming things in a way too,
Yeah.
with describing it like that. Yeah.
So what are your final thoughts on The Wrong Roommate?
It has me real excited to see more because we're jumping from The Wrong Roommate to The Wrong Child.
The Wrong Child? Oh man. I'm basically looking at these titles as they come up. I am fascinated to know what makes a child wrong. Let me see what's the poster look like for this one? Oh, Vivica A. Fox is like the poster for this. Like it's a picture of her. Or alternatively, there is just one where she's featured very prominently, but not exclusively. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of her. Because she's like the person for this.
Yeah.
Well, Jory, where can people find you online?
You can find me anywhere. I'm cool with you following me at No I'm Jory, except for Blue Sky, which is jory.zone, because I pay for the domain. I'm gonna use it. I have a website that I send for job interviews, but I desperately need to update it. Probably won't be that interesting unless you're really into like deep Jory content. Unless you're like going through the backlog and like, what haven't I seen of Jory's? And then you're like, oh, here's a hardcore show flyer he made in 2017. Awesome.
The Jory Lori.
You can I've been streaming my World of Warcraft Guild's raid attempts from the Fresh Classic WoW servers on No I'm Jory on Tuesdays and Thursdays. No commentary though, it's mainly for logging and raid review if wanting to be like, hey, where did I fuck up and how can I do more damage? So might not be that interesting, but I don't know, I have a fun layout. And then I have my other podcast off network, We Are Watching One Piece, which by the time you're listening to this, we'll be covering One Piece, though if you do want to hear us talk about the films of Ernest P. Worrell against the will of both our fans and my girlfriend, who every time I put one on was upset and would leave the room. But what about you?
You can find me on Blue Sky at Punkdyke, PUNKDYKE. Can't believe nobody had that at there either, and can't believe that I paid somebody when I didn't have that at to court the person who had that at and then break up with that at, and so I could swoop in and get it. That is probably one of my least coherent one of those bits. And where else can you can also find me and the rest of my system on Blue Sky at We Are Alexandra, WeAreAlexandra. We talk about plural stuff there. And you can find the show on Blue Sky, maybe? Are we doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will overdub into here what the handle is. Wrongpodcast.bsky.social. In a comedic
You can
way.
definitely find it at
wrongpodcast.bsky.social.
If you are looking for more great podcasts, check out the rest of the shows on the Moonshot Network. You will be hearing an ad for one of them within the next 60 seconds, probably. But until next time, I guess you just listened to The Wrong Podcast.
Nessa.
Hey, Marn.
Hey, Jacqueline.
Hey, Emma. What's your favorite scary movie?
I mean, we all know it's Jaws. What about you, Nessa?
Recency bias? Sinners.
I mean, Sinners is great. I'm a really big fan of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Wait. This isn't a podcast about movies. This is Dead Teen House Party, a podcast where we talk about slasher TV shows.
Each of our episodes, we cover a few episodes of a show, summarizing, discussing, and talking about our most and least valuable survivors.
Releasing occasionally. Brought to you by the Moonshot Network.
Don't get stabbed.
Hi, my name is Kiefer, and I'm the host of Select and Start, a video game-centric podcast on the Moonshot Network. In each episode of Select and Start, I bring on a guest to talk about their history and relationship with the medium of video games, followed by an in-depth discussion about a meaningful and memorable game that made an impact on their life. These guests are people with wildly different levels of experience with video games, including people with published books about games, developers, games journalists, streamers, educators, and just gamers, both hardcore and casual. We talk about games from all platforms and genres, whether they're big or small, long or short, old or new. We talk about them, what they mean to our guests, and how readily available they are for people who want to play them today. Because games are an art form that should be preserved. And like other forms of art, video games have changed lives, and I've had some wonderful guests with incredible stories about that. You can check out Select and Start wherever you check out your other Moonshot podcasts. Just select an episode and press start. All right, I think that's it. Enjoy the rest of your show.